How's it going, everybody? Dr. Danger of the Language Deluxe podcast back at you again. Going to be talking about Smackdown's live debut on Fox Television, Friday Night Smackdown it is now. I was there live at the show, just got back literally 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired, my voice is shot, so this is the perfect time to try to do a little podcast bit. Coming at you live at popping.com as well as youtube.com. Trying to see if I can get the Language Deluxe podcast uploaded at other places, but you know, things like that take time. Also, before we get into the to the business today, want to let you know I said it at the end of the last episode, but just wanted to reiterate. I won't be able to review Raw and the Wednesday night and AEW and NXT on time this week because Monday after work I'm going to be going to Los Angeles and I'll be coming back either Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. So what I'm going to plan to do, is to come home whenever, and then just spend that day. I'll watch Raw, then I'll watch NXT and Dynamite, and I will try to put that out timely-ish. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about SmackDown. I need to say the stage looks really cool. I dug it, at least. It's like a mix, right? It's kind of a throwback to their old stage when they started, but a little more, modern, futuristic-y type of thing. Pyro's back, obviously, as we saw on Raw. It was very big and exciting. The crowd was having fun. To get one little nitpick out of the way, well, technically three, but it's one similar subject. They advertised Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sting, and The Undertaker to be at the show, and they did not show up. Now, on one hand, I didn't care too much because I love all three of those guys, but at the same time, looking back, I'm like, man, that show would have been really rushed and bloated. But at the same time, I know cars and wrestling and anything really are subject to change. But that is Sting, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. Those are not three people that you just change the schedule on. That's really it. Alright, I got some notes here. Let's get into it. So SmackDown opens up with not The Rock, but Becky Lynch. She comes out, thunderous applause, people love her. And then King Corbin comes out, and everyone's booing. My mother is furious. She hates that guy. And then before he can get 8 sentences out, he feels smell, and the place erupts and exploded. He does that old tired legend promo where that John Cena does, where he's like, "I'm home. This is my home," and I'm just like, bro, you're not gonna. You're not going to be here on the regular, but I can't deny that Rock is obviously over like a god. And Becky was over like a goddess. And Corbin was, at least he was booed and not just silenced over. So he came out and he cut a promo. It was a good rub for Becky. Then the two of them proceed to beat up King Baron Corbin. So that was cool, I guess. What happened next? So, actually, before the television started, I forgot, there was actually a dark match for Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy. It was very quick, I shouldn't say nothing, but it was a very quick match with Ali picking up the victory over Buddy Murphy. It was nice. It was kind of cool that Murphy was able to kind of do something for a crowd. You could tell they still like him. They just haven't really figured out what to do yet. And also, before The Rock came out, Vince McMahon and Stephanie came out, and people popped for the music, and also Vince. And then all the Becky and Rocks have happened. So after they beat him up, they went to commercial. Trish Stratus and Lita came out to watch the next match, which was Becky and Charlotte versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. The match was kind of okay. It wasn't bad or nothing. I kind of wish it was. I don't want to say I wish it could have been a little better, but it just wasn't very. It was just there. It didn't kill the crowd, and it was over quick. Ended with Charlotte tapping Bailey, which I would have thought was weird, but then I remembered they only have like 4 matches available booked for Hell in a Cell, right? Because it's the Fiend versus Seth Rollins. Then you've got Sasha and Becky in the in Hell in a Cell as well, and I assumed Charlotte and Bailey were confirmed, but I guess not. And I can't even remember what the other one is. So yeah, interview with the New Day. Um, oh, they highlighted Tyson Fury, who I guess is a boxer. Kurt Angle and Foley came out to sit at a seat next to him or whatever. Then Rollins came out because he was going to fight Shinsuke Nakamura in a non-title, obviously, champ versus champ match. But then, and I popped huge for this, there was a Firefly Fun House. Now, I love The Fiend, and I've always loved Bray Wyatt. And I've always wanted to be there for a Firefly Fun House. And this was a pretty good Firefly Fun House. Ramblin' Rabbit dies for the 4th time, but he's dressed up like Seth Rollins, and Bray's like, this is going to be you a hell in this. I'm summarizing it, but you should watch it. He summarizes what's going to happen to Seth at Hell in the Cell. Mercy the Buzzard rips up Rambling Rabbit, so that's twice now. That's 4 times that Rambling Rabbit's died. Twice that Mercy the Buzzard has directly killed him. The first time was Bray Wyatt killing him, and then I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Bray killed him. Wait. Yeah, no, Mercy killed him first, then Bray killed him, and then he died from a heart attack on Raw this week, and then Mercy killed him again. So it's all come full circle. After that, Hulk Hogan, and I thought Ric Flair came to the ring to watch a very quick Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura match. Nakamura had this beautiful armbar in the first 2 seconds, but then Rollins just kind of beat him up. And then The Fiend came out. I was surprised they did this because I wasn't sure if they were going to have The Fiend on at all. I mean, I know Fox likes The Fiend, at least from if the rumors are supposed to be true. But they just threw him on. At this point, it was close to the middle of the show, basically, and they had him on. I mean, I don't think it like ruined the specialness of it or nothing that melodramatic. It was just kind of weird because he's been closing off Raw for the last like month. But yeah, Fiend attacks Rollins, Mandible Claw, and then he threw Seth off the stage. Here's hoping that he wins on Sunday. Kevin Owens was in a ladder match with Shane McMahon. This is a match where the best parts were the spots. There was quite a bit of dead space, unfortunately. I mean, there's only so much you could do with Shane. But I thought that, you know what, this turned out, the crowd was into it. The crowd popped huge at the end. Owens telling Shane, you're fired, and then dropping the briefcase on his corpse after he frog splashed him through a ladder and then powerbombed him onto another ladder, and Shane's body just freaking ragdolled all over the place. That was cool. Roman Reigns fought Eric Rowan in a lumberjack match. Let's see, what was I going to say? Bunch of lumberjacks, obviously. Brian joined Corey Graves and Michael Cole on commentary. That was really odd. I thought Renee was going to be part of the announce team. But when I looked over there, I could only saw Graves and Cole, so that was odd. This match was pretty late in the show, and it didn't go over quick. It ended up with Roman winning, but they made Eric look pretty strong. Roman did that spot where he jumps over the top rope on the people, but then when they're on the floor, Eric Rowan grabs Mustafa Ali and chucks him at Roman Reigns, and I'm like, dude, Eric Rowan reminds me of that old meme where he's just like, where he'll beat up a motherfucker with a motherfucker. I thought that was really funny. Next was Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. Oh, man. I know some people had some mixed opinions about Rey Mysterio, not Mysterio, about Kofi Kingston and about his title reign and the quality of his matches. But, man, he didn't deserve this. As soon as the bell rings, he charges Lesnar, who gets him for an F5 and pins him. I was like, man, he was champ for 6 months. I'm like, I don't think that was right. I don't mean to be that fan, but I didn't think that was fair, but whatever. Not up to me. Although, what immediately happened next was pretty keno. Rey Mysterio walks out, and he brings out a guy with him. Now, I was sitting far-ish away, but when you're there live, it's a lot closer than it looks like it would be on television. And I see this buff dude walking with Rey, and my first thought was, "Yo, did Dominic get jacked or something? What is this?" But then he took off his shirt, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Cain Velasquez!" That was sick. He gets in the ring and he beats the he beats the. I was trying to think what adjective would be funnier, but no, he kicks the crap out of Lesnar. That was fun and great. Although I gotta admit, my mood on that was kind of sour almost immediately, really, when I found out that oh yeah, they'll probably fight at Saudi Arabia, and I was just like, ugh. But overall, I thought it was a fun SmackDown. It was a good start to Fox. I think I read somewhere they did almost 4 million viewers, which is great. That's going to make old man McMahon really happy. Let's hope they keep it up. I hope it's not a crazy. I'm obviously there's going to be less next week, but I hope it doesn't go from like 3 million to like 2.5 or 2 million. But we will see. That was SmackDown. What was I going to say? I'll be back Sunday for Hell in the Cell. But I also thought, this is going to be short. Let's also talk about something else. And I thought of the perfect thing to talk about. You ever heard of a band called Exhumed? They're a death metal band called Exhumed. They're kind of local legends in the area I live. Well, they put out a new album. I was surprised and also stoked because I thought they're just one of those bands that's like, they're very sporadic. Either they're playing a bunch of shows, or they're like, or you wonder if they're even still together, if they're dead. So I listened to their new album, and I thought, yeah, know what? Do you know what? This would be a great thing to talk about on my podcast. So, yeah, let's talk about that real quick. This album's called Horror, and it was released like a day or two ago. Starts off with a song called Unsung. It's 1:55 with these greasy, dirty riffs and dope cymbal chokes. It's kind of a death grind song. It's fast, hard, and sloppy, but in that badass kind of way. Kind of like, you ever listen to Mortician? You should probably listen to Mortician. Next song's Ravenous Cadavers, 1:45. It's really death thrash. And if I'm being honest, if they were using like a different tuning, this could work as like a regular thrash metal song. This one specifically. Evil vocals and 6 screams for days. Scream Out of Fright, the next song, 1:47. It's a little more melodic with some quick, fuzzy chugs to start it out. Then they hit you with a blast of pure death hardness with the back and forth vocals between Matt and the bassist, I think, that the band is known for. Just saying, when this song comes on, you ain't a monster, you better run for cover, bro. Next song's the longest song on the album, I think, at 2:55, called Red Death. It's a more standard death metal track that it knows what it is and it does it well. And that's be hard and brutal. Kind of like Mortician. All of a sudden, though, at 1:38, they pause and let the chords hang and do one of those dun 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 whatever buildups. Matt screams, "That's why you know." And dude, when that riff hits at 1:43, don't be anywhere near the pit. We're talking skankers throwing elbows for days, dude. Then you're like, oh, that's sick. But then they're like, nah, dude. Zoom's like, here's a Raining Blood era Slayer style solo that transitions back into the chorus seamlessly. Next is a 5-second song, Utter Mutilation of Your Corpse. And all it is Matt screaming, utter mutilation of your corpse over some blast beats and chords. It literally took me longer to describe it than to actually listen to it. The next they hit you with another long song called Slaughter Maniac at like 2 minutes 50. Slaughter Maniac sounds like the name of either a lame band or a bad horror movie, and I love it. The song sounds kind of like a Jungle Rot song, but then again, if you listen to Jungle Rot, you probably thought to yourself that they probably got inspiration from Exhumed anyway. Nothing too stand out about the song, it's just a fast, brutal rager. But you know what? Isn't that what you want from Exhumed? The song ends with them holding feedback into the next song called Ripping Death at 1:20. It's a good Slayer-infused carnage tune that you come to expect from this genre. Once again, beware all ye who enter the pit with this one. Crawling at 1:48 brings us a sonically beautiful and audibly appealing piece of art that transcends its roots into a piece of transformative art piece with unique textures and time changes. I'm kidding. It's blast beats. It's blast beats and chugs. LaMayo. By now, if you're listening, you might be thinking to yourself that the songs are starting to sound the same. Well, yeah, of course they all sound the same. Because they all sound brutal. This next song's naked, screaming, and covered in blood. It's one song as opposed to sounding like three at 2 minutes 17, and it assaults your ear faces with screaming dive bombs and a thrashy coat of paint. Playing with Fear at 2 minutes 20 seconds, it's about psychology or a serial killer or maybe the singer's dad or something. It's more of a mid-pace song that really lets you hear the crunch of these guitars. It's messy, fat, and brutal. Kind of like my buddy Dylan's Sex Life. Next song's Dead Meat. It's 33 seconds and it's neat. Next song's Rabid. It's 1:55. And you know, this pacing with all these short songs and the couple really short ones makes me feel like I'm listening to a Nuclear Assault album, but more brutal. Or like a Brutal Truth record, but with more focus. Man, Dan Leica rules. Anyway, it's another fast, satisfying rager. Next is In the Mouth of Hell, 1:37. I swear I think this is a Slayer song, but anyway, it's more of the same, so if that's the kind of thing you'll like, you'll find that this is the kind of thing that you'll like. Shattered Sanity, is that like Shattered Vengeance, is the next song, and it's 1:14. I'm starting to think maybe they wanted to go back to the roots on this one, maybe. I'll tell you this, though. There's a riff that plays at 50 seconds that if I see it live, I'm giving you fair warning right now, don't be around me. Thick boy forearms for days. And next is the last song. It's 2 minutes, called Reanimated. It's about... Does anyone even really care? This closes the album. It's fast, mighty, and satisfying. Like fast food, except, you know, for music and probably won't rip apart your colon. So yeah, it's a fast album. If you like death metal, great. That's for you. If you like old school fast death metal, like Eaten Back to Life, Cannibal Corpse, or Possessed, or pretty much anytime Autopsy pushes out an album, this is the album for you. Is it technical? No. Is it fun? Yes. Is it like something that, you know, virtuoso musicians like the dudes in what's that band? Flesh God Apocalypse, you know, is it that type of stuff? No. Is it like big Devin Townsend strapping and lag spectacle? No. Like I said, this is dirty, raw, greasy, just sleazy death metal, and it's great. This is the kind of show you want to catch in the Bay Area. Well, I guess that's all from me. That was Smackdown and Exhumed Horror. Like I said earlier, I'll be back next week at some point to talk about... Oh, actually, I'll be here Sunday, well, technically be late Monday night, talking to you about Hell in a Cell. I'll have a review of that. And, what was I going to say? Yeah, thanks for tuning into Dr. Danger's Lingua Deluxe podcast. I've been your host, Dr. Danger. You can find us at YouTube, podbean.com, as well as we're on Facebook under Dr. Danger, under Lingua Deluxe podcast. Thank you all for checking it out and for hanging out with me for a bit, and I will talk to you all at some point in the future, somewhere down the line, somewhere in time. Adios.